Om. 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 Om Sahana Bhavatu. Sahano Bhunaktu. Sah Viryam Karavavahi. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam everyone. So we are doing the Purusha Suktam. I think last time also we couldn't chant at the end of the class as some of you had requested. So I think I will start today with chanting it and then we'll continue. Okay, Sairam everyone. Hari Om. Gananam tva ganapati gun havamahe kavim kavinamupamashravastamam jeshtarajam brahmanam brahmanaspatana shunvanmutibhis siddhasadanam prano devi saraswati vajepirvajinivati dhinama vitrevatu ganeshaya namaha saraswatyai namaha shri gurubhyo namaha. Hari Om. Tachayyoravrimahe Gatun Yajnaya Gatun Yajnapataye Daivi Swastirastunah Swastirmanushebhyah Urdhvam Jigatu Bheshajam Channo Astu Dvipade Samchatushpade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sahasrashirsha Purushah Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishvato Vritva Atyatishtaddashangulam Purusha Evedagam Sarvam Yadbhutam Yachabhavyam Utamritataseshanah Yadannenatirohati etavanasya mahima ato jayagascha purushah padosya vishwabhutani tripadasya mritam divi. So far we have covered until here. Today we'll be taking up two more mantras, so I will just chant them. Tripadurva utait purushah Pado seha bhavat punah tato vishwang vyakramat sashananashane abhi tasmad virada jayat virajo adhipurushah sajato atyaricyat paschad bhumimatho purah. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We will start with, I think there was a question, I think the Malaysian had asked me about the sutra which Swami had quoted, which I had promised that I will cover today. So I will start off with that. Okay, that's right. I'll just read up. Yes. Brahma Sutra. Okay. So I think I should just remove this, otherwise it can be a bit confusing. So we are covering Purusha Sukta, but I think having it in the title will challenge, be a bit confusing later on. So Brahma Sutra, as I had mentioned, Brahma Sutras were composed by sage Vedavyasa, and there are many chapters. It runs in hundreds. This is just one sutra which we are taking today. So the why were the Brahma Sutras put together by him is a question you may ask. The purpose of the Brahma Sutras is when we study the Upanishads, some of the statements can seem very contradictory, or they may not make sense. So Brahma Sutras were put together by Vedavyasa to explain things in the context in which the Upanishads explain. Because there are words which can have multiple meanings in various different contexts. And if we are not sure which meaning and how we should study it, that can cause confusion. So because of that, he has put through these sutras. So the sutras, when they are studied, they will elaborate and explain the apparent contradictions in the Upanishads. So it becomes an aid to the study of the Upanishads. Okay, so that in a nutshell. But the reality is, even to understand the sutras takes effort. And there are many who have, many great acharyas who have written bhashyas or commentaries on them, so we can understand them and we can study them. Because the sutras are usually in a very cryptic form, a small pithy statements. But there's so much embedded in each of the word, so that also has to be studied. But that's the purpose of the Brahma Sutras. So it complements the study of the Upanishads. That is why the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, at least the 10 major Upanishads, and the Brahma Sutras are essential study for any student of Vedanta. Okay. So that's the idea. So we'll just look at, otherwise it should not go into another trajectory. As I had mentioned, Swami has written Sutra Vahini, where he has covered some important sutras and he's commented on them. Okay, one of them was this, which we looked at. So I will take a look at that today. Jyotis Charanabhidhanat. Jyotis Charanabhidhanat. Jyotis Charanabhidhanat. This sutra consists of 3 words: Jyotihi, Charana, Abhidhanat. Jyotihi, Charana, Abhidhanat. So if you look at the meaning of these words, the first one is Jyotihi, light. Okay. Charana, as Charana is like pada, so it can be feet or quarter. Okay. So I would say quarter is a better meaning in this sense, but Charana also means feet. Even in this, we looked at the Shanti Mantra, Chatushpati is coming, 4 feet, 4-footed ones. Okay. So generally people think, oh, they are the animals which have 4 feet. But the Chatushpade can also be the Brahman. Okay. So there are multiple meanings, and how we interpret, how we perceive, how we contemplate differs depending on the state of the mind of the person, state of understanding of a person. Okay. So Jyoti is light, Charana is feet or quarter. Abhidhanat. Abhidhana means to mention. Okay, you call out something, or you categorize, or you label something. You either label, or you mention, or you call. All that is meant by the word abhidhana. Okay. So abhidhanat means it is the fifth form of that noun. Okay, fifth vibhakti, which means from. It's called a point of separation. Okay, so because of the mention of the charana, jyotihi. Okay, so that's the way the sutra is light because of the mention of the feet. Okay, so that's the sutra. So this sutra, now we will go into what we will read again what Swami said. We will read that. Okay, I know it can be a bit unless we study it properly, it can be a bit confusing, but just to understand what it is. So now, in the light of that, we will read what Swami has written. The word light in the Upanishads does not connote the physical light of the material world. When material limits or qualifications like feet are specified, how can the immanent, all-pervasive entity be indicated? Such a limited or qualified phenomenon cannot become the object of adoration and meditation. When the word light is understood to mean the light having certain natural characteristics, it cannot signify Brahman, the universal absolute. The hymn in praise of the cosmic person declares, Padosya Vishwa Bhutani. The entire cosmos with all its component elements is but 1/4 of his glory. So this is the first. I will read it again and discuss it a little bit. So Swami is telling about the word Jyoti. So he says, the Jyoti which is mentioned in the Upanishad, including the Brahma Sutra, does not connote the physical light. Okay, the physical light is that which our eye can perceive. Our eye can only perceive certain spectrum, certain frequencies of the light itself. The light frequencies, only very limited set of frequencies which we can see. So there are frequencies beyond that, okay, which actually physical eye cannot see. So, so then you will say, how did the rishis see? You know, these are questions which will ask. The science, you know, has not discovered some of them. They don't have the instruments to measure and all that. So I will just give it some context. For example, in the Jyotisha means astronomy, all that. Because Jyotisha is also one of the Vedangas. So in the Vedanga of Jyotisha, which we will call it astrology today, that's a word in English. Jyotisha means light. So that subject, that study of that subject itself is called light. So if you take that light, if you look at the astrological chart, you know, there are 9 planets, 27 stars, and so on. And then there are planets which are called sun, the 9 planets include sun and moon. So in science, you know, they will say when the light is refracted, you know, with a prism, you will get 7 colors. Okay. Each of the planet actually denotes that frequency of that light. Okay. Each of the planets signify one frequency of that light. So rishis have looked at the characteristics of planets and given certain colors and aspects of that sunlight. Okay. So sun itself is one of that, but it actually covers Jyoti, light within the deepest sense. Then we have 2 entities called Rahu and Ketu, which are in the Western parlance, it's called north node of the moon or south node of the moon. That is in the intersection between sun and earth and moon and things like that, earth, moon and sun. That interplay denotes, that is what generally is understood. But the reality is one is ultraviolet, other one is infrared. So these are called Chaya Grahas. they themselves cannot be physically seen. So beyond, if you take Rahu as a planet, they will say it has only head, it doesn't have a body. Ketu, if you say it doesn't have a head, it has only body. So there is some infinity associated with each of these elements. So even light itself is actually infinite. And on one side of the spectrum of the 7 colors is Rahu, the other side is Ketu. So that means light is much beyond these 7. Much beyond these 7 colors. So this was visualized by the rishis thousands of years ago. But if you ask the Western science, the modern science, they say ultraviolet somewhere in the 1800s, it was discovered. Before that, people did not know even about the existence of this. They may have had some idea, but even as a concept of light, energy came to light only very recently. But the rishis had seen that. So when we say Jyotihi, it is that infinite set of frequencies of light. So that's what Swami says. It is not the physical light which we see in this material world. It's beyond that. Okay. So that's what Swami says. When material limits and qualifications like feet are specified, how can the immanent, all-pervasive entity be indicated? So if we treat it as material ones, what we can physically perceive, then it cannot represent the immanent, all-pervasive reality, because these are sutras related to Brahma. Brahman is that supreme being which is beyond all senses, the mind, and so on. Okay, so that's what Swami is saying. Then he says such a limited qualified phenomenon cannot become the object of adoration and meditation, because once you limit it, then it will, whatever is limited, all can disappear. There's a finiteness associated with it. They don't last forever. Okay, so then it will not attract our adoration or respect. Okay, so because then it will become a material thing. So that's why it says, what is sun? It is just a planet. Why are people praying to it? No, we are praying to that sun because that is the one which we can see, but we are praying to that which is beyond that. Beyond the, just the way you go to a temple and you see a vigraha, a stone. For a material scientist, you'll say, oh, it's a stone. It's made of some, otherwise it can be made of some metal. They only see the metal. But the devotee sees God in that, which is beyond that material thing which represents. Okay. So such a limited quantity it cannot become an object of worship. If it is, you think it's a stone, a carving of stone, then there won't be devotion. But when you visualize the divinity in that stone, then there can be devotion, there can be meditation. Meditation is something with love and affection. Okay, that cannot happen when you just look at the physical structure. Okay, so that's what Swami is. So when the word light is understood to mean the light having certain natural characteristics, it cannot signify Brahman. It cannot signify Brahman. So then Swami is giving this Padosya Vishwabhutani. So this entire creation is only one part of the Lord. Okay, 1/4 of his glory. So that's what the Purusha Suktam tells. Therefore, the cosmic person is beyond bounds, measures, and degrees. Okay, the divine light Jyoti illumines heaven and beyond, and reveals even the Brahman. The Jyoti which is mentioned is that which can reveal even Brahman. Okay, that which makes known by its splendor the era preceding the origin of living beings. It can even show you what happened before the living beings existed. Okay, and the regions beyond even the farthest and the highest. That is indicated by the word Jyoti. It shines in that supreme among supreme regions. So this Charana, I brought this only for the explain the Pado Asya because Swami has quoted that. So this entire creation is 1/4 or 1/4 of the Lord means. It means that Purusha is much beyond that. There are 3 parts, 3/4 beyond what we see. So then we, then we can say, oh, can we measure it? Things like that. Okay. Our ability to measure is limited by what we are capable of. In this context, I'm reminded of one of the one of the statements of one Tamil poetess, his name is Aware. She's talking about kattrathu kai man alavu. Whatever we know is only sand which can be held in a fist. Okay, but the world is so vast. Knowledge is also like that. So even an ant, he says, "Erumbum than kaiyal ensan." That's what Tavir says. Even an ant is, san means it is a measure of this. It's half mulam, we will say, which is basically our body is supposed to be 8 length of an 8 times of this. A hand. If you look at this, san is the word. So even for an ant, its own body is its own measure of 8. Okay. For a human being, our length is of this. So which basically means we are only capable of measuring everything based on our own yardsticks. So that is the idea. Sakku auntie has raised her hand. Yes, auntie.
Hi, Ram. I just want to clear my mind. Sage's experiences are quarter?
Yes. Sakku auntie, I can't hear you. I don't know if you're muted or not, but sound is a problem.
No.
Sorry, Uncle.
I can't hear. I don't know whether it's to do with myself. 1 second.
I think we can hear. Yeah, we are able to hear Sakku aunties clearly. Yeah.
Okay, I think it was my side. Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, please tell.
Just I want to clarify before you go further. The sages' experience of getting the glory of God, the light, is it only quarter or 3/4? 3/4.
See, what we see is only 1/4.
1, yeah.
If it is 1/4, the rest is 3/4.
Adi Bhaudika is means you can
1/4 only.
1/4 only. So that is spiritual.
No, Bhautika is gross.
Adi Bhaudika.
Adi Bhautika means that which rules this Bhautika is Adi Bhautika. What relates to this Bhautika?
Oh.
Okay. Adi Bhautika means whatever you can physically see, whatever relates to that, or whatever is controls that, whatever makes it function, that is Adi Bhautika.
Okay.
So your question is it beyond that Bhautika?
Yeah, that's right.
In this sense, it's Adi Bhautika means that which relates to or manages this Bhautika is Adi Bhautika.
But the sages can experience the...
Because Brahman is beyond all that, Auntie.
Okay.
Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika, Adhyatmika.
Okay.
The Brahman is much beyond that also.
Okay. Right.
So Adi Bhautika relates to our waking world, whatever we see in the world around us.
Yeah, with the senses.
With the senses.
Yeah.
That means the grossest thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have what is called Adi Devika.
Yeah, Devika.
That is in the subtle form. Maybe mentally we can visualize.
Yeah.
You can visualize anything in the mind. It is subtle. Adhyatmika is the causal one.
Okay.
We can, to some extent, we can experience it. It's like a deep sleep state. When you're in a deep sleep, you don't even see it. But when you wake up, you know you were sleeping.
Yeah.
that experience of sleep you experience, but you don't know what it is also. In that sense, it's Adhyatmika. But there is something beyond that, which is called the Turiya, the fourth state, which underlies everything. Okay. So that is, and beyond that, then Avyakta means that which is not even manifest. So these are all different levels of the presence of the divinity. This was the experience of the sages. That's
Yeah,
with
but
the
they say that you can see the divine light illumines in heaven beyond and reveals even Brahman.
Yeah, but you know that generally when we imagine, if you do light meditation, you're only superimposing light the way you understand mentally.
Yeah.
That is also limited. But the Jyoti which is spoken here is that which can reveal anything. That is beyond the physical, beyond the mental, beyond the buddhi. It's an experience.
Yeah, totally experience.
Totally experience at the Atmic level.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, I know it is theory, philosophy, but just to know that there is something beyond, whether we realize it or not, we are benefited from it. Okay, that's my understanding. Again, all this is my understanding with my limited mind.
Your understanding is good for us.
Okay, okay, Sairam.
Sairam.
Sairam. Sairam, brother Vimalesan.
Sairam, I just want to clear about it. The two words Pada and Charana are both synonymous?
Synonyms.
Both can mean feet and quarter. Right?
See, they indicate the same thing, but different characteristics of something. See, Pada means a portion, a quarter.
Right.
Okay. In Sathya also, it is 1/4. Then you can ask, foot is, how can it be 1/4? You know, that also we can ask. But the thing is, Pada has that meaning. Charana means that which moves, that which allows you to move also is Charana.
Oh, okay.
So you should understand, in this world, everything is moving. The first the first one which moves is wind. I will come to the topic of wind. Okay, that which moves is wind. That is Chara Achara. Chara, then only the differentiation between that which is static and that which is dynamic, you know, that which does not move and that which moves. So that is the word Charana. That Charana is that which allows you to move. That helps you to move. That makes you move. All that meaning is Charana. So that is the difference. But both are referring to the foot, the different aspects of the foot.
Yeah, but Pada can mean quarter also, right? 1/4. And Charana also can mean 1/4. That's what I want.
Yes, Charana also can be 1/4, because in a verse, one Charana means one of the 4 parts.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you know, if you in a composition, they will say Charanam, you know, Pallavi, Anupallavi, Charanam.
Right.
So that means you're supposed to have 4 verses below that.
Okay.
You know, even in the so it is used in many places.
Right.
Okay, but you know, in Sanskrit, that's the thing. It is very descriptive of a phenomenon. So both these are describing a phenomenon.
Okay.
So, for example, if you ask Sat, Chit, Anand, we will say God is Sat, Chit, and Anandam, or Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, whichever we use. Are they different entities? No. They are describing the same thing in our limited vocabulary.
Okay, right.
Okay. See, it's like if you take a flower, the touch is soft. The color is rose, for example. And there's a smell aspect. So there are 3 aspects of the same object. So you say, oh, it's very nice smelling. So it's only one aspect. You can say, oh, it feels soft. That's only touch. Then you can say it smells nice. So, you know, different aspects of the same object, from that sense only, Pada, Charana, or describe the same
Okay.
concept.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Okay.
Yes, Brother Kumar.
Brother, I don't know, you have been very kind here. I think the Brahma Sutra is so deep. I know, and I don't know, because it says the word Jyoti in the Upanishad is very much more deeper than what these physical scientists talk about. We talk, human beings. Actually, we only can see from science 4.5% of the entire cosmos. We can't even see anything. But the thing I want to ask you is that last line. If you go up that previous,
Sure.
it says the Padosya Vishwabhutani, right?
Yes.
The last, one before the last line. There it said
Padosya Vishwa Bhutani.
Bhutani.
That is straight from the what we are chanting in the Purusha Suktam.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. That the entire cosmos with all its component elements, but 1/4 of his the supreme energy's glory. Absolutely. That is no, I just wondered.
Pada Asya.
Pada
means food.
Okay.
Asya means his or its.
It's, yeah.
Vishwa means this entire Vishwa,
Entire.
all. Bhuta means, Bhuta is element. Bhutani means plural.
Yes.
But Bhutani can mean much things. Bhutani can living beings also, it can say.
Bhuta.
It can show elements also. 5 bhutas means the 5 elements. But the human being, jivas are also called bhuta.
Yes.
They will say bhuta ganas, things like that.
Thank you,
So,
brother. Thank you. I think I started reading the next one, even opens up your heaven. The next one, the next one. Anyhow, okay, thank you. All right. Saira.
You always quote for Brother Kumar.
Yeah.
Some of these concepts are in Tirumandira.
Oh yes. I mean, but I love to come here and listen through you.
Yeah. But the thing is, unfortunately or fortunately,
yeah.
For example, they do not give the texts which are available very limited understanding, because many people who commented on even Tirumandiram without understanding Sanskrit.
Yeah, because
that is the this is digression, but I will cover it, because many of these people, like Tirumalar, you quote him, he came from Kailash.
Yes.
Okay, why he came was to educate people of the essence of everything. So he composed, and actually what is state, he tried to communicate that in the vocabulary available to the people of the local. But these concepts are all Upanishadic and Vedic concepts. So for example, he will say about this itself, how, I think last time you had asked, how from sky the wind came. I will to cover, if you go to 385.
Okay, I will go into that. Okay, all right.
Kanin kan vaanaki vayu valarndidam kanin kan neerum kalandu kadinamai thenin kan. It goes like that. Now, I don't want to make it a Tirumandiram class.
No.
But what I'm saying is the exact same thing is stated there. So they all try to communicate, but the thing is they have used many of these Sanskrit words in them without even to understand Tirumandiram. It's like Sutram only. So unfortunately, over a period of time, because of time and people's loss of knowledge, things have sort of deteriorated. That's all it's all about.
And also, I just don't want to talk more about it. And also, the politics in South has messed it up. We all know that. We all know
It's
that.
because of ignorance.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, Saira. Sister Kalyani, please.
Oh, Saira, Uncle, just quickly. So that phrase Jyoti Charana Abhidhana means like from the Charana, the corridor, like the moving that we can see from that, Jyoti is revealed, or
no? By the mention of the word Charana, Jyotihi. That's what it means, From the mention of the word Charana, Charanabhinat, Abhidhanat, Jyotihi. By explaining using the word Charana, it provides light. That means, as soon as the word Charana is mentioned, everything is only 1/4. That will reveal to somebody that God is beyond that. By equating the entire creation as one Charana, people are enlightened.
oh, okay.
Okay. So before that, we will think this is everything. So by the mention of the word charana, you are made to understand that that is beyond. That reveals to you that God is Brahman is much beyond that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, once you say this is one quarter, then that reveals to you there are 3 other quarters. You are enlightened. So that is Jyoti.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. I know, it's, see, we have already 9:40. Once we open a topic like this, we can go on and on. But anyway, I have another excerpt from Swami's. We'll just read it because I just want all of us to understand what exactly is being covered. Okay, because Purusha Suktam is essence of all Vedas. If you understand Purusha Suktam, you have understood everything in experientially, we should understand. But it will help us experientially understand by continuous chanting daily and contemplating on each of the mantras. So our life should become better by this process. That's the whole idea. It's not an academic exercise. What is the word of meaning of? It should translate into our own daily living experience. So I have another excerpt from Swami's discourse. We'll go through that. The body has 5 encasements which hide the Atma. These are grouped under the 3 categories: the gross, subtle, causal. The physical case, that is Annamaya Kosha, if you want to put it, or Prithvi, whichever way you want to call it, flesh, blood, bone, etc. Flesh, blood, bone is the physical gross one. And the vital case, which is breath, that is the best vocabulary in English. Vital case is prana, maya kosha. Prana means we think it is breath. They will say it's oxygen, but it is not that. Oxygen is only that, it's a gross thing only we call oxygen. Okay, the vital case is prana, maya kosha. So these 2 are considered gross, form the gross sthula body. When these 2 sheets, the gross body, fall or disintegrated, the body also falls and cannot rise. Okay, when these 2 sheets fall or disintegrate, the body also falls and cannot rise. The word sukshma, which is generally translated as subtle, means small in Sanskrit. Sukshma means actually small, minute. But it has another meaning, that which expands. Air expands more than water. Space is more expansive than air. Compared with the expanse of the liberated soul, even space has to be considered gross. I will just read it again. Compared with the expanse of the liberated soul, even space has to be considered gross. Steam is more expansive than water. If you take water, the steam is nothing but water, but in a gaseous state. Okay, but it's more expansive. Although a block of ice and a lump of camphor appear gross, they become subtle when heated or lit. Okay, so Swami is talking about the process of expansion. So there also you can see, when something is heated or lit, it expands. That is the effect of Jyoti. Jyoti not only sheds light, gives us heat, it also makes you expand. Okay. The rule of the world is that the seen causes the unseen. The manifested explains unmanifested. But the rule in the realm of the spirit is different. The latent Atma causes the patent world. Being is behind the becoming. And finally, becoming merges in being. The patent is absorbed into the latent. Like the milk from the cow, the power of relativity, I don't know, it's Maya, power of Maya flows from the Supreme Person as the 5 elements constituted cosmos, the patent manifestation. The cosmos is cognized as a composite, just as milk is composite of cream, curd, butter, which can be got out of it by the action of heat and cold, the addition of sour drops, and the process of churning thereafter. Churning separates the butter from milk in the same manner through the cosmic processes and upheavals of heat and cold. The 5 fundamental elements, earth, water, fire, air, and space, were separated, and earth, this ball of butter, emerged as a product of the churning. So the creation itself, Swami is saying, it's a churning process. So when we say space and wind, I think last week we had this discussion about wind. I think Brother Kumar was asking, wind is only present in the Earth's atmosphere. Actually, there is, I did not want to dwell too much. There's something called solar wind. What we have is what's called atmosphere. Then there's something called heliosphere. Without the heliosphere, even our space travel is impossible. Even the space travel, they call something solar sails. Okay, they feed off the energy particles from the sun. So these are, because our concept of what is beyond is imperceivable. Okay, so there is something called solar wind. I think last time I asked what is in the air, is it oxygen? See, our atmosphere is supposed to be 70% nitrogen, then there's oxygen, then there's carbon dioxide also. But actually, wind is not these. They are present in that medium of wind. In the Vayu is an energy. In that, all these gross elements are also present in their gaseous state. So the wind which the rishis talked about is the substratum of all these, that which supports all these gaseous elements. So it's at some level from the space, when it in the process of crystallizing as earth, which is the grossest form, that from the space there is wind, then there is fire, then there is water, and there is earth. So that is a crystallization of something which is very expansive. The Atman is expansive, then it crystallizes into something which is gross, which we can perceive through our. So that is the idea. So that is how from space earth comes. But as Swami said, the rule of the world is we think that what is seen causes the unseen. So for example, you may understand this, but for example, we have a concept of mind. Okay, science cannot measure the mind. For example, our thoughts, if you ask a Western scientist or doctor, they will say the chemicals in the brain are causing thoughts. Okay, but the spiritual aspect, they will say the thoughts in the mind cause the interplay of the chemicals. So it is looked at it from a slightly different angle, which is what Swami says. The rule of the world is seen causes unseen. From the earth only wind is coming. No, the spirituality looks at it and says, Sairam Auntie, Sakku Auntie, you want to have.
Sorry, this is not related to this one, but about Purusha Suktam, you said that if you chant the Purusha Suktam daily, you will get divine experience. Can you explain to me? Sorry, I missed out.
Okay, so what I said, Auntie, this chanting of the mantras,
Yeah.
They have an impact at the energy level.
Yes.
So what happens is they recreate our own brain cells so that they can understand certain concepts. That's a belief. Okay, that's what the rishis have said. That's why they give a lot of importance to chanting. Sound is something which happens in the space level. And the impact of chanting a certain things, again, the chanting of the mantras have an impact on physical, mental, and the causal level in us. So that is with any form of sadhana. Okay, the chanting of mantra, contemplating on that, it changes our own perception of the world, and it will reveal itself. That's why the mantras are supposed to be self-effulgent. They will reveal themselves to you. If you say chant Rama, 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 at some point that will manifest as Rama. So that's what I meant by regular chanting, contemplation, meditating will have a significant impact on us.
So this Purusha Suktam is giving us quarter?
What? No, full. Purna. Purna. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purna, Purnamudachyate.
Okay, thank you.
Sai Ram, Brother Aruno. Sai Ram.
Yes, Auntie.
Yeah. I just want to find out that I heard that Purusha Suktam must be chanted only by men, not by ladies. Is it true?
No.
No.
See, these are things which unfortunately ignorance has brought about in this world. Everyone is entitled to it. Because the reality is in this created world, even people who call themselves men are actually women. The Purusha is only one, God. And everyone who is born on this world is capable and are entitled to learn and to chant. But I think what is required, Swami says in one of his discourses, to learn the Vedas, what is required is purity. Purity in the physical sense, and the mental sense, and the atmic sense. So as long as we cultivate purity, everyone is entitled to chant this.
Thank you very much, Sai Ram.
This is not, I am just telling what Swami has told. But unfortunately, in the traditional world, people will scare you. They will say, you women are not supposed to chant. There are certain mantras in the Vedas which are not supposed to be chanted by pregnant women or women, and something like that. They actually specifically stated. The rishis state that this section should not be chanted. Okay, so there are places like that. They feel that can disturb certain stages of life for a woman. That is, they are very, very specific mantra. Purusha Suktam is not one of them. As much as that. Okay. Okay, we think we can move on. But it's very unfortunate that this sort of thought has come about in the world. Okay. Give me a minute.
Thank you very much, Sai Ram.
Oh, Sai Ram, brother. One time, one of the Sai alumni here in Canada, he shared a story. He said Swami had told a boy to chant Purusha Suktam every day. And that's one mantra you can even chant while you have shower. Like certain mantras, you have to first have a shower, clean yourself, and then chant. But this is okay to chant while having shower also.
It's like, see, the Vedic mantras are themselves like water. They're cleansing yourself. Okay. So people can chant. See, it's like, we can't say someone can only take bath when the person is clean. The water is for cleansing also. We cannot prescribe medicine only for the healthy. As long as they can take the medicine can work. The sick people need the medicine. So in that sense, Swami said, when you do have shower, if you chant any mantra, even Gayatri, Purusha Suktam or Rudram, you are actually, imagine that you are doing Abhishekam to the Lord. See, once you think my body is divine, when you eat, it's prasadam, because you're offering to the divine. When you have shower, it is Abhishekam. You are washing the divine. So that is how understanding why we wash our hands or all that also will change once our understanding or appreciation of even the body which is given is God's. It is also a manifestation of God. So from that sense, Swami says, if you have chant Gayatri, you are actually doing Gayatri Abhishekam. See, in the Hindu concept, And for example, if people are getting married, it's a slight digression, but I think it's important so that we understand some of the key principles. So for example, if you're doing a puja, first if you're doing a Shiva puja, first you are supposed to make yourself a Shiva and then do puja. Okay. If people are getting married, the bride is made into Lakshmi, the groom is made into Vishnu or Parvati and Parameshwara, and then the wedding is performed. So all the pujas are that. Okay, so the thing is, when we chant, whatever we chant, we should elevate ourselves to a certain state and chant. Through that process, it becomes abhishekam, prayer, everything, whatever we do will become prayer. So this is what Swami has told. I hope that that's my understanding again. Okay, limit possibly.
Yeah, thank you, brother. He had told it's like Sandhya Vandanam.
Exactly.
Okay.
Sorry.
But Rudram also, can you chant while you're doing Shava? Like certain mantras, I thought you shouldn't. Oh, okay.
Of course.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, that's my understanding of Rudram. They are all cleansing in their nature, but our intention should be to cleanse ourselves. And so then our shower also will become a spiritual exercise. Okay, everything can be made into a worship of the Lord. In that state of mind, that's why I think in Vantavaram, Nindram, Nadandam, Kadandam, it's like that, you chant the lid.
Yeah.
Okay, silent.
Silent.
We'll go to the next, it's already 1 hour and we have not taken any new mantra. I hope it's all okay for you all. If a person, so wait 1 second. If a person or thing has one of the 3 character traits, this Sattvika, Rajasika, balanced, passionate and dull, Sattva, Raja, Tamas. Predominant in the makeup, we denote the person as having that trait. So also the element that is predominant in any created entity gives its name to it. That is why the world on which we live is called Earth, Bhumi. The realm in space where the element of water predominates are known as the atmosphere, Bhuvarloka. And the celestial plane, Swarloka, the material therein flow in currents and streams. Okay, Swami's Bhur, Bhuva, Swa is comparing to Bhumi, Bhuvarloka and Swarloka. In short, what appears as 5 element constituted cosmos is only the superimposition on God of the non-real individual self. And the 5 elements, God seen in and through the non-real appears as nature. This is but a distorted picture of reality, this ever-changing multiplicity. The fault is in the mirror that reflects, the mind that perceives, the brain that infers. The fault is in the mirror that reflects, the mind that perceives, the brain that infers. What the mirror presents as true has no authenticity. The mirror is coated with dust and its face is not plain at all. God has no illusion, Maya. He has no intention or need to delude, nor does he will that it should happen. But people in their ignorance see things that do not exist and believe that they do exist just as they see them. This weakness is named superimposition, adhyasa. When God is reflected as nature, the reflection becomes illusion, Maya. Just as milk curdles into yogurt, God becomes the world, Jagat, or incessant transformation, Jagat of incessant transformation, the image Maya of the unchanging divine. His will causes this unreal multiplicity on the one that he is. By his will, he can end it. He is the master of illusion. So this is from an excerpt. This is an excerpt from Sri Sathya Sai Vahini, chapter 10. So Swami is basically explaining See, for example, even if you look at an object and say it is there, the scientists today tell the atom is, I don't know, 90% empty. If all these empty atoms constitute something, but we see it as an object. Because ultimately there's an energy which holds it all together in such a manner that we are able to perceive things, but 90% of it is space. There is no matter. So this from energy crystallizing into matter is what is described in the from the subtle, causal to subtle, subtle to gross. This is what the space becomes wind, wind becomes fire, fire becomes earth, water, and water becomes earth. This is the crystallization of the energy into matter. So at the different, these are things which humanly we cannot perceive. So I will just stop there and we'll go to the next one mantra. I have taken 2 mantras, so we'll look at the next one. Again, the same concepts are discussed, so we'll continue. Saira. Sorry, if I don't know whether people are disappointed of what what you wish to learn, but I thought I will cover it because it's also equally important. So this is the 4th mantra in the Purusha Suktam. Tripadurdhva udait purushaha padosyehat bhavat punaha tatho vishvang vyakramat sa shanana shane abhi. Tripadurdhva udait purushaha padosyeha bhavat punaha tato vishvang vyakramat sa shanana shane abhi. Tripadurdhva udait purushaha padosyeha bhavat punaha tato vishvang vyakramat sa shanana shane abhi. In terms of pronunciation, Tripadurdhva, this dha is the 4th letter in the tha varga, so it has to be aspirated. Dha. Udait purushaha, the sha is cerebral sha. Padosyeha bha. This bha is the 4th letter in the pa varga, so it has to be aspirated. Bha. Bhavat punaha. Tato vishvang ng is nga in the ka varga, the nasal sound. Vishvang vyakramat sa shanana shane abhi. Again, abhi is the 4th letter in the pa varga, so it has to be aspirated. We look at the word split. Tripat urdhva becomes tripadurdhva. This it becomes id because of the sandhi, and that id and u become dhu. So tripadurdhva, tripadurdhva. Udait purushaha, it's sandhi, but there's no change. Udait is one word, purushaha is the second one. Padaha asya becomes padosya, because the visarga becomes o and a becomes silent. Okay, padosya. Ya and e becomes ye. E becomes a, so ya plus e becomes ye. Padosyeha. Ha plus a becomes ha. Okay, ha bhavat punaha. Okay, padaha asya iha abhavat punaha. Tataha vishvang becomes tato vishvang, because again sandhi. Tato vishvang vyakramat, ingan vyakramat, but no change, but that's a sandhi. Tataha vishvang vyakramat. Here sa shana plus anashane becomes sa shana nashane. Na plus a becomes na. Sa shana na shane Abhi. That's a word split. We'll look at the meaning. Tripat, 3/4. Okay, 3/4. Tripat. Urdhva. Urdhva means above, upwards. Urdhva. Udait means coming like Udaya, you understand? That which rises, grows, goes up. Udait, Purusha. So these three quarters are above. Urdhva means above. So it's rising above this one pada which we see. Okay, it is rising above. Padaha, foot, asya, his. That's who? Purushas. Iha means this. So this, when it says iha, it refers to this world creation. Abhavat. Abhavat means came into being. This 1/4 which we are seeing in this creation came into being. Punaha. Punaha means again. So this creation comes back again and again. See, everyone dies and is born. So the cycle of again and again, that rotation is this 1/4. It keeps on coming back and back again and again. Just like if we go to the ocean and see the waves, incessantly they come. So that's the way the world is also created. We also come back and go, come back and go. Tataha, then Vishwang. Vishwang means all the limbs on all the sides. Also it means Vyakramat is spread out. So this world, it came into being, and it also, this Purusha is also expanding himself everywhere. Okay, Vyakramat. Vyakramat. That means he's continuously expanding step by step also, you can say. Vyakramat. Sa Shana. So Sa Shana, actually Sa Ashana. Ashana means eating. Okay. Sa means with that. Sa Shana means all the things which eat is that which eats. Sa Shana. Okay. Anashane. Anashana means that which does not eat. Sashana, Anashane, Abhi, over and beyond that. So in this world, there are things which consume one, and that which does not consume also. Okay. So the commentators say, people eat, living beings all eat. But if you look at mountains, rocks, they don't eat, but they are also creation. So that is one meaning. So God is beyond that. Atman is beyond the eating and non-eating. Atman is beyond, because that's what we see, we see eating and non-eating. But God is beyond all that. Okay, that's what it is. Tripad urdha udait purushaka padosya iha abhavat punaha tatah vishwang vyakramat. It spreads and expands. It's beyond all that eats, and he is beyond eating and non-eating. It does not consume anything. Nor does it not consume anything. Okay. In this context, I have got an excerpt. It's a 1964 discourse of Swami. Vyasa once asked some persons who came to him for advice to cross the Yamuna near his ashram, to bring him milk and fruits, and after eating his fill, he told them, well, if I have maintained my vow of fasting, go now, and the Yamuna will make way for you. They said, then we are lost, for we saw you eat your fill with the things we ourselves brought to you. But Vyasa said, I did not eat them. I offered all to Krishna. The reality is, the the Lord is beyond. So this mantra basically Tripad Urta Udait Purushaha. It basically says this entire creation, what we see, is only 1/4 of the Purusha. And this Purusha goes beyond this creation, which we see and perceive. And it also spreads in all sides, in every manner. It expands. And it's beyond that which eats and non-eats. So I read so Vyasa, people had come to see Vyasa. So Vyasa, they had come to see, and Vyasa told, bring some fruits and milk, and he consumed them. He ate. And then he told, for you to go back, you had to cross the river Yamuna. Because I am fasting, Yamuna will let you cross. Then they were worried, we just saw you eat. So he said, no, I ate. You thought I ate, but I did not eat. I have offered it to Krishna. So because he was able to make that statement because he is beyond eating and non-eating. The body is the one which may have eaten or non-eaten, but he was identifying with Atma. So God, even though he consumes and not consumes, he is beyond that also. He is all this world which is created, which goes through again and again comes back. It dies and comes back. Even though it dies and comes back, the Lord does not die. The Atman neither dies nor is it born. It is neither eaten nor does it eat. So that is the Purusha. So he is beyond this eating and non-eating. So that's the meaning of that excerpt. So for today, I will stop here with prayers. And I think because there was a request that I should chant at the end of the class, I will chant, and then hopefully I will fix this problem for next week and it should be a bit more smoother. Okay, Sai. Hari Om Tachayyo Ravrani Mahe Gatun Yajnaya Gatun Yajnapataye Daivi Swasthirastuna Swasthirmanushebhyah Urdhvam Jigatu Bheshajam Shanno Astu Dvipade Sham Chatushpate Om Shanti 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 Sahasrashirsha Purusha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva Atyatishtat Dashangulam Purusha Evedagam Sarvam Yadbhutam Yacha Bhavyam Utamritatvasya Yadannena Tirohati Etavanasya Mahima Ato Jayagascha Purusha Padosya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasya Amritam Divi Tripadurdha Udait Purusha Pado Seha Bhavat Punaha Tato Vishwang Vyakramat Sashanana Shane Abhi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam everyone. I will close with Samastaloka. Maybe we'll take any questions you have next week. Sorry about it. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam everyone.